My name is Gay Dolan, and I am truly honored to be selected as a recipient of the Douglas C. Johnson Patron Award and to be a co-recipient with Alexis Kalish.
So I'm Alexis Kalish. I have served on the Art Center board for 4 different sessions, and I'm also very proud to be part of this McLean County Art Center community, and I'm delighted to be here as a recipient of the Douglas C. Johnson Distinguished Patron Award and to share that with Gay. Back in the early 1990s, a friend of mine became the executive director of the McLean County Art Center, and she asked if I would like to volunteer to help out with an event. That was Art in the Park. It was planned by Artie Nowers and Georgette Shoup. It was a big white tent in Franklin Park with lots of white lights, and I remember Artie making a whole bunch of pumpkin cheesecakes to serve for dessert. After that, they asked me if I would like to be on the board of directors. I accepted that, and one of my fondest memories is when Kim Piotrowski was the executive director. Kim is an abstract artist who lives in the Chicago area. She and I used to host bus trips to various art exhibits. We had a great time, and she's a dear friend today.
I became involved in the Art Center about 7 years ago, I believe it was. I got a phone call from a total stranger, and she told me her name was Alexis Kalish, and I said, okay, and you want what? And she asked if she could meet with me to discuss being more involved with the Art Center. I knew very little about the Art Center at that point in time, very little. I had gone to Sugar Creek, and I'd been to Spring Bloom because it was just down the street from me where I lived at the time. And she didn't ask me for my Social Security number, so I thought, well, I'm okay. I can meet with this woman and have coffee. And as I recall it, I mean, she was very organized and had a lot of materials to present to me, ready to go. And I thought, oh, wow, this is impressive. But I think I told her I'd think about it. And so I did, and as I recall, is this how you're remembering it, that I said I would think about it? And then I got back to you? Okay.
Quite possibly.
At any rate, I guess I didn't think long. And so I've been involved with the Art Center for that period of time. I did toddle along behind her for quite a while because I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do, and so I did whatever Alexis did. And that went on for a while until I think maybe she went on vacation or something and she wasn't there, and I had to figure it out by myself. And by that time I'd probably had about a year's experience. So.
And what I remember about that meeting at Coffee Hound was that I felt like I was being interviewed. I thought I was checking out a potential board member to see what they might have to contribute, where they might fit in, if it was a match. So I am very glad that it worked out as well as it did.
As am I. I think one of the most memorable things for me, and I think you can speak to this as well, Alexis, is when after I'd been on the board for about a year, and they needed a new chairperson. I found myself sitting in that seat. I'm still not sure how I got there, but and Doug came in and said, we need a fundraiser. This is how I recall it. We need a fundraiser, and we need to come up with something to do this fall. And that was the beginnings of the fall fundraiser. At that point, we kind of had a focus group of a mixture of people, and ideas were spun around the room. And oh boy, I think maybe a former board member, Sue Alexander, came up with the idea of a luncheon, and that everybody else was doing dinners, and why didn't we do a luncheon? And so we started with a luncheon and very little else and very little time to put it together. I mean, that was probably in April when we made that decision. And we had a fundraiser in one of the first weeks of September, as I recall it. So that was a miracle.
So my second stint on the board was, again, about 7 years ago. I was just a step ahead of Gay joining the board at that time. And I think one of the greatest accomplishments of my time these last 6-7 years was development of Creating the Future. And I give Gay a lot of credit for developing that. She was chair of the events committee. She gathered this group of people. Probably none of us had a whole lot of experience in creating events or planning them, but we worked hard, we learned, and we've grown the event. Another thing that I really admire about what Gay has done with this is that the event reflects the Arts Center activity. We highlight the education programs, the exhibitions, the financial is obviously a part of it, promote membership, thank our supporters. And this year in particular, we are doing things to maintain and preserve our historic building. And that brings me to something, one of my favorite experiences of all time was being able to go up into that bell tower with Doug and Lisa and Justin and the summer intern. And I'm glad I did it before I got any older.
Brave girl.
Something that is kind of interesting in planning for the luncheons and the dinners. Gay and I are both morning people. So usually about 6:30 in the morning, one of us will send the other one an email and we'll start discussing what's going on and decisions that we need to make. And that's worked very well for us.
Yeah.
We joke that we're kind of joined at the hip, but I think it has been an enjoyable experience. Gay has a lovely home that she often uses to have committee meetings. We look out over her pond in the backyard and all the birds and squirrels and sit at her, as we call it, the kitchen table.
Yeah.
And it's been an enjoyable experience.
One of the things that makes it work, I think, is that we each contribute a different skill set. And if there's something that involves a computer, I go, Alexis, would you like to do that? Or she will volunteer because she knows that in order to meet a time demand that it wouldn't be me to do the job.
Well, I love charts.
Right, and can produce them very quickly. So, I mean, I do think that's one of the things that's made it work, is that if you team with somebody that you don't always have to be think exactly alike or be have the same interests and abilities, that it can work in a collaborative way without that one being a clone of the other. Anyway, it's been a wonderful, really wonderful kind of collaboration. I've loved it.
It has, and we are really enjoying working with Kimberly as well. She brings a lot of talent and good promotional ideas to the job, and I think that will just make everything all that much better.
Mm-hmm.